That title isn't clickbait. I have ruined thousands and thousands of dollars worth of portable power stations, and I'm not proud to say it. But I wanted to make this as a heads up to you guys to learn from my mistakes. That should be this entire channel. If I just made a channel where instead of trying to compete with people and doing things successfully, I should just show you all the things that I fuck up. Exhibit A. In the last 4 months, I killed 2 different power stations. The first one that I killed was the All Powers R1500. I picked it up to use it one day, pushed the power button. It went on, it went off. I said, well, maybe it's dead. I plugged it in. It let out the magic blue smoke, and that Chinese smell of death came out of it, and it was dead. I had smoked it. And with the All Powers, that was one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest power station that you can get. I said, oh, well, maybe it's because it's cheap, bad materials, whatever. I reached out to All Powers. They were like, no problem. Literally no questions asked. They were like, find a box, ship it back to us, and we'll send you a new one. And they did, to their credit. Totally awesome customer service. I have nothing bad to say about the machine, and I have nothing bad to say about the company. So even if you have reservations about buying an All Powers, which is a lower level unit, it was totally fine. The return process was super easy. That's a 1500, so like a 1.5 kilowatt hour, small, lightweight, compact. But it could still do, 120 out. I think it was available for like $500 or $600, something like that. But the next one, maybe a month later, this one also has a little bit of a caveat. This was a free sample that was sent over from a company. I'm 100% confident that they don't even make this unit anymore. So in a vacuum, okay, it was a cheap one with the All Powers and it died. And then a month later, this was a beta testing unit and it died. Either one of those things happening in a vacuum, you'd go, I would have plausible deniability in those and go, all right, they died. Now that unit was a 3600 and it was really, really expensive. Now I didn't pay for it, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that now I'm up to around $4,000 worth of dead portable power stations. With that one, and the fact that I don't know if the company's out of business, but they definitely don't sell it anymore. And when I reached out to them, like, hey, this thing doesn't work anymore, they were like, who are you? We don't even know what you're talking about. We don't even make that. It's okay, fine. But from that little bit of disappointment came an opportunity to do an autopsy. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer and let's see why this unit died, what hypothesis I can come up with, and then what information I can give you to prevent you from doing this to your units. Okay, so this is the BMS of that unit. This sits on top of the 3,600 kilowatts of power, 3 batteries. It's 3 or 4 batteries. I didn't get as far as digging into the batteries. Now that said, it showed the same symptoms that the All Power showed. Turned on, it turned off, and then I went to go plug it in, and when I plugged it in, it almost jump-started it and started working, and I was like, there's an electrical problem here. So what we're looking at here, the BMS for the AC side. So the power would come in here, do its doodatteries. Battery out is over here. Battery positive and negative gets hooked up through these cables here and then down into the battery. So there's some transformation going on, some discombobulation. We're taking some ACs and turning them into DCs. And now specifically when I took it all apart and the unit stopped responding even after jump starting it, I definitely had the Chinese smell of death, but I didn't have blue smoke. So I used my nose to figure out, all right, I don't see anything obviously blown up. What is the problem? I had a smell in this area and I assumed it was this board mounted transformer because the smell was kind of rich in this area. So I really zoned in, looked in really tight. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything obviously blown up until I flipped it over. Out of all the boards, I have the DC side over here, and this is again, the AC side. This was the only thing that I noticed. This is for one of these capacitors, this one specifically. And if you take a look right here at this solder, this has all been heated and reflowed. There's some here and there's also some here where it's no longer connected. Also this solder joint right here, the rest of them are kind of pyramids, and this one is softened and rounded over. Now that's the only thing that I noticed on this entire, both boards, both the AC and the DC board, was this got hot, broke that connection right there, and perhaps right here, and then just reflowed onto itself. Basically, a $3,000 to $4,000 unit was killed by, I don't know, 1 cent worth of solder that's been cut and reflowed or needs to be reflowed. Now the capacitor itself is not blown, it's not bulged, it's just not connected anymore to the board. And that also somewhat tracks with the smell being in this area. Now I don't know, because I'm not an electrical engineer, whether these are conditioning before or after this transformer, and this not being connected sent too many gigawatts AC into the transformer. I don't know, but I know that this thing stunk, and that's the only thing that I saw that was bad, that melted solder on the other side. So I actually don't blame the units. I think this falls on me. Here's why. There are any number of videos you see guys storing them in their garage or leaving them X places or whatever, and I want to be perfectly clear, I didn't leave either one of these out in the rain. I didn't leave them exposed to the elements, like willy-nilly. I have them in an insulated little outhouse that let me show you. So this is the room where we keep the stuff, or I used to. See the big generator in the back there? This was a dedicated plug that I used to keep the power stations charged up and ready to rock and roll whenever I needed to grab them. And you can see it's drywalled, it's insulated, but there's no vents in here. I thought temperature was going to be the big thing, and you know, there is good temperature control in here, but I think temperature affects functionality, but not survival. It was the humidity that killed those units. Is insulated, it's drywalled, but it's not conditioned, meaning there's no air conditioning, there's no heat in there. I don't think the heat really does it because it is insulated and there's some heat that comes in from the attic, so it's always warmer in there in the winter and colder than it is outside in the summer. I don't think it was a temperature issue. Between these two units, I believe it was a humidity issue. And if there's no conditioning, there's no desiccation of the air, there's no way for that air to dry out. Now, I'm here, I know people fight over it, but I'm in southern Maryland and I consider it part of the South, and our humidity is 80% all summer, probably starting next month. We are constantly humid. Now, the thought process when I was storing them out there was, this is where I use them. Let's leave them nice and accessible. They're not the lightest things in the world to traipse in and out. There's roughly 10 gallons worth of gas energy in those batteries. I would prefer to keep them outside and just safer than keeping them in the basement, but there was a cost. And I don't think there's actually anything to not storing them in the house. And it certainly wasn't laziness because I used them out there. I think the issue is the humidity settled it on these boards, and they sat in this room and they had a plug, and that was their area where they lived. They stayed charged. So this was just 8 minutes of me kind of getting it off my chest, but giving you guys some insight into something that you can avoid. Now, I have the manuals for all the power stations that I've had, at least the big ones. The little ones you just kind of toss. And do they mention humidity specifically? Is this my fault, or is this something that they never discovered or disclosed that would be an issue? So let's look at the EcoFlow one. Number 3 on the first page. Avoid contact with liquids of any kind. Do not use the product in the rain or high humidity. Whoops. The All Powers. Literally, number 1. Be sure to operate the product in a dry and well-ventilated place, and if it gets wet, dry it thoroughly before use. Do not expose the product to rain or snow. I don't think I was actually doing that, but there's a theme, keeping it away from water. And this one, the big one that I had, no need to bring up the name. There's no reason to disparage them. Number 6, do not immerse this product in water or expose it to moisture or liquids. Why didn't you tell me before? Now, I want to be perfectly clear. The EcoFlow is still carrying on like a trooper. The EcoFlow Delta 2 Max is still 100%. It's fantastic. I use it all the time still. It is tremendous. As a matter of fact, when the snowstorms were rolling in, the first thing I did was say, charge the EcoFlow. I love it. It's a part of it's woven itself into the fabric of my emergency preparedness. Now, why didn't that one die? Good question. I never stored it outside. It's always been inside. I'll take it in and out when I need it. But in my head, like a cheapskate, I was like, this thing is so expensive, I just want to keep it inside. And the EcoFlow survives. So this was a really long answer to the question of why did I kill $4,000 worth of portable power stations? Because one, I didn't read the instructions thoroughly, and they could have done a better job of explaining about the high humidity. They say moisture, you think in your head that's going to be rain, which they've never been exposed to rain, but short of the EcoFlow's instructions where it actually said high humidity, nobody told me not to store it outside. I just thought that's where they get used. You store them outside, but that's not the case. So have this be a warning to you guys. Do not store your many hundreds or many thousands of dollars worth of portable power stations outside. They have to be inside in a conditioned area. Even if you're charging off of solar panels and it's in your garage and you live in a high humidity area, don't risk it. Don't blow it up. Now, mind you, this was not a lithium ion fire. There was no runaway explosions or anything like that, but dead is dead. So from now on, I will be replacing them. Specifically that 3600. That thing was handier than a pocket on a shirt. They're just going to get stored inside, and I hope that you do the same. Now, if you got anything out of this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. I will catch you on the next one. I'm running out of ideas of making videos where I don't lift anything. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.